I learn how to learn. I am knowledge.
This is our sixth discussion of the universal law called I am knowledge. It is one of 11 universal laws of the guiding principles of peace and unity. In our previous presentations about I am knowledge, we revealed that there are 9 types of intelligence, and we explained that using them to learn how to learn is critical for the development of self-love, culture, and civilization building. Today we will discuss interpersonal intelligence. Before we discuss I am knowledge, I need to inform you that Facebook has limited how many posts I can share with our groups. As a result, I will be able to share with less frequency, so everything will be slower. If you think these posts have value, it would be best for you to join the Guiding Principles of Peace and Unity Facebook group or the Guiding Principles of Peace and Unity Facebook page. As Black people, we know that Facebook and other social media platforms do not belong to us. So the best way to make sure that we're able to share these posts and other information is to establish a more permanent connection that is not dependent on social media platforms that we do not control. If you go to our website, thegppu.org, you can download the Guiding Principles of Peace and Unity and their violations. To do so, you will need to provide a name and email address. With that connection, you will have direct access to our posts, events, and other resources, even when social media fails us. All links are in the description. In addition, we will be organizing the Guiding Principles of Peace and Unity community meetings. These meetings will feature debates, discussions, and suggestions for resolutions to many of the critical problems facing Black people and Black community. Here is what our meetings will look like. First, a topic or problem will be identified. Second, you will be offered an opportunity to address the topic or problem from your experience or your expertise. You will also have the opportunity to suggest solutions. A person with a different point of view will also have an opportunity to address the same issue or problem. Then, based upon the universal laws of the Guiding Principles of Peace and Unity, a judgment and a proposed solution will be given regarding the different points of view of the issue or problem. These meetings may be live or recorded. The Guiding Principles of Peace and Unity meetings will be organized to answer questions important to Black people and Black communities. Now, the first meeting will be on the role of religion in Black communities. If you'd like to talk to us about that and give your recorded or participate in a live discussion about it, you may by contacting us and messaging us at our Guiding Principles of Peace and Unity Facebook page. Then we will arrange more appropriate ways of communicating. Now, back to the universal law, I am knowledge. There are 3 areas critical to the success of the Black community in Africa and the African diaspora. They are culture, economics, and education. In this video series, we continue to examine issues and concepts related to education for the development of self-love, which those who care about the Black community can examine and consider. Culture is the foundation of self-love. What is culture, though? The word culture comes from the word cultivate, which is related to the domestication and growth of plants. Culture is like a gardener who cultivates a young plant by tying it to a stand for support, putting it in a certain location, and watering it. The gardener does that to foster the growth of the plant to become tall and strong, so it does not grow bent and crooked, so it does not become a weed. The gardener does this with labor and care and study to ensure that her plants are the best. Culture is actually a way to cultivate and civilize human beings. Because of the natural functions and growth of the human brain during various stages of life, human beings must be purposefully and deliberately cultivated and therefore civilized. This is done first by establishing universal laws and standards of behavior. We call those universal laws the guiding principles of peace and unity. I meditate to relax in all situations. I am peace. I bring and keep together the families and communities who live in peace and unity with others. I am unity. I learn how to learn. I am knowledge. I create for myself, my family, and my community. I am power. I obey the laws of my family and community that are in harmony with peace and unity. I am law. I do no harm to my family, other families, or my community. I am protection. I choose the feelings, thoughts, and actions that are in harmony with the principles of peace and unity. I am control. I have fun and work with my family and my community. I am cooperation and harmony. I am careful about what I believe. I accept ideas and beliefs that are in harmony with these guiding principles. I am correct ideas and beliefs. With all my heart, I take care of my family, other families, and communities that are living according to the principles of peace and unity. I am devotion. I keep a clean body. I have clean habits. I eat healthy food. I exercise. I care for my environment and planet. I abuse no substance or drug. I am strength. It is an ethical, moral framework that says, do good, do no harm to others. In fact, you were the guiding principles of peace and unity when you came to this earth as a baby born naked. But Earth's trauma and miseducation have made you forget. Now you must find your way back. You must remember. The guiding principles of peace and unity will help you remember who and what you are. You, of course, can get a copy of the Guiding Principles of Peace and Unity at our website, thegppu.org. With these universal laws as a foundation, true culture will 1. Prepare you for life. 2. Foster your growth. 3. Improve you as a person and as a community. And 4, help you solve real problems. Today, under the universal law, I am knowledge, we continue to discuss the 2 critical roles education plays in developing a culture of self-love. Let's look at the universal law, I am knowledge, first. It says, I learn how to learn. This represents one of the greatest powers you have in life, but is misunderstood. Many of us believe that intelligence and knowledge is having more information than others and being able to memorize and communicate that information. That is only part of it. Another part is the ability to be quiet, listen, and receive instruction, knowing how to gather information when and where it is needed, receiving deep understanding from your practice and work in your field of endeavor. All the guiding principles of peace and unity, of course, have their violations. The violations of I am knowledge are educational disenfranchisement, educational repression, educational restriction, educational elitism, educational neglect, and miseducation. Now, the first role of education in developing a culture of self-love is teaching people, especially children, their history. There seems to be much public dispute and debate about children learning current and ancient history, especially black children. There is no debate. You must learn your history, and you must teach it to your children. It is your responsibility as a parent and a caregiver. And it is critical if your children are to develop a culture of self-love and be able to operate effectively in this world. Now, let's discuss the second role education has in developing a culture of self-love. That involves understanding the nature of intelligence, showing people their intelligences, and providing them with an opportunity to develop and use those intelligences. But first, what is intelligence? As a lifelong educator who has observed the learning of many children and adults, it is my view that the true reality of intelligence is represented by the theory of multiple intelligences. The theory of multiple intelligence was first proposed in 1983 by Dr. Howard Gardner, a cognitive psychologist. The theory of multiple intelligences says that there are 9 types of intelligence, not just one. The first is verbal linguistic intelligence. The second is mathematical logical intelligence. The third is spatial visual intelligence. The fourth is musical rhythmic intelligence. The fifth is bodily kinesthetic intelligence. The sixth is interpersonal intelligence. The seventh is intrapersonal intelligence. The eighth is naturalistic intelligence. And the ninth being existential intelligence. Now, those who disagree with Gardner's theory complain that what he identified were talents, not intelligence. Their views show that they do not understand the complex cognitive and intellectual processes needed to create and cook a good recipe, negotiate a win-win solution between 2 opposing factions, or choreograph an award-winning dance routine. They want to diminish those intelligences by using the word talent. Talent and intelligence are the same thing. Gardner's detractors also complain that there's no way to test his theory like an IQ test. Those critics are limited in their understanding of how intelligence can be identified. Intelligence is identified using the actual work that a person does every day, how they excel at doing that life's work, not just through a written test. Now, Gardner was not an educator, but many well-known educators and educational theorists, Piaget, Bloom, Vygotsky, Skinner, insisted that intelligence is actually developed by doing and through experience, by trial and error, through loss and reward by doing the thing that you're trying to learn, building on what is learned, and mastering it in real life. Now, we've already talked about verbal linguistic intelligence, mathematical logical intelligence, visual spatial intelligence, musical rhythmic intelligence, and bodily kinesthetic intelligence. As I said, today we're going to focus on the sixth of Gardner's 9 intelligences, interpersonal intelligence. Now, actually, we are talking about interpersonal dominance because everyone has some level of interpersonal intelligence. It's just that some of us have dominance or greater access and ease of use of interpersonal intelligence than other people. That is called dominance. Dominance means that the neuronal networks of his, her brain have strong and complex connections that make interpersonal intelligence more accessible to them. Connections between the brain's prefrontal cortex for social decision making, understanding others' intentions, self-control, and appropriate social behavior. The amygdala, which detects emotional significance, recognizes emotions, especially fear and anger, and supports emotional learning. The temporal parietal junction, which helps infer what other people are thinking or feeling. The superior temporal sulcus, which interprets facial expressions, eye gaze, body language, and body movements. The anterior cingulate cortex for empathy, conflict monitoring, emotional regulation, and processing social pain. The insular cortex, which allows awareness of one's own emotions and empathy for others' feelings. And the mirror neuron system, which supports imitation, understanding others' actions, and other aspects of empathy. Now, traditional educational systems are focused primarily on verbal linguistic intelligence and mathematical logical intelligence. There is little attention given to developing interpersonal intelligence, no matter how valuable it may be. Now, I have suggestions for parents and caregivers to find out and purposefully develop your children's social emotional learning, their interpersonal intelligence. My suggestions here are not just for interpersonal intelligence dominant children. They are for all children. Strengthening the interpersonal intelligence skills of every child is critical to that child's development of the 8 other intelligences. Parents can support the development of interpersonal intelligence by talking about what is learned in school each day or in other settings, playing educational board games together, reading and discussing books together, encouraging group hobbies or clubs, letting the child explain homework concepts to family members. Interpersonal dominant children may have many interesting professions available to them. This includes education, healthcare, helping professions, business and leadership, sales and customer relations, communications and public service, law and mediation, coaching and development, arts and entertainment. There's also additional information about interpersonal intelligence learning and resources in the description of this video. Remember, when you uplift a black child, that is a defeat for those who think they are our enemies. When you uplift a black person, that is a defeat for those who think they are our enemies. Use the guiding principles of peace and unity. Uplift each other. Do good, do no harm.